So me about 5 more, but I don't know if I can. So we'll turn it over to the church. Just whatever you guys have on your heart.
Times when I'm discouraged and troubled in my soul, there is a secret place that I can go. I just steal away with Jesus. And that's where I stand, and burdens they're all lifted away. Burdens are lifted away.
Everybody happy? Say silence says yes, we are happy. Joel chapter number 2. Joel, book of Joel, chapter number 2. I've never preached from the book of Joel. Come across this last week, I think, and I didn't understand it. So I researched it a little bit, and that's what kind of spurred my heart to be where it's at with what we said at the beginning about prayer meeting. And so I'd ask you to pray for us tonight while we preach something we've never preached. I hope it's a blessing to us, and I hope we all just have our hearts open to hearing what God will tell each one of us individually. I wish tonight that the house was full to hear this message, not because it's from me, but because it's from the Bible, it's from God. But I'm thankful for those that are here, and God has a way of getting His message to the people that need it. I thank God that you're here, and I hope that we all can take this personal tonight. So if you've got your place in Joel chapter number 2, Joel chapter number 2, ask you to stand. Joel 2, we're going to read verse number 17. Joel chapter number 2, verse number 17. Let the priests, the ministers of the Lord, weep between the porch and the altar. And let them say, Spare thy people, O Lord, and give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. Wherefore should they say among the people, Where is their God? And that's the scripture that God's put on our heart. I appreciate you standing and reverencing the reading of God's Word. I ask you to pray for me tonight that I can just get this out how that God has put it inside of me. But here in the book of Joel, I had to do a lot of study and a lot of research this week on the book of Joel and what's going on, because I really haven't studied much. I've read it several times, but not to the intent that I was going to preach out of it, and I felt the need to study it. But I did a little bit this week. And Joel was a prophet during the time of King Joash. King Joash's time is recorded in 2 Chronicles chapter number 22, chapter number 23, and chapter number 24. You can go and you can read his ministry and read his life and find some of the things that are happening here in the book of Joel. But as Joel writes this book, he's speaking of the day of the Lord. And you go through each chapter, he addresses this thought, the day of the Lord. And he certainly in Joel, the first chapter, he's preaching about the immediate day of the Lord. If you read chapter number 1, you'll find that locusts had taken over the nation of Israel. The locusts had come in and they were beginning to destroy everything in Israel. Verse number 4 of chapter number 1, he says, That which the palmerworm hath left, hath the locust eaten, and that which the locust hath left, the cankerworm hath eaten, that which the cankerworm hath left, the caterpillar hath eaten. These locusts were destroying everything in Israel. It was destroying the crops, the wine, the cattle. And because of that, it was also affecting their worship. You say, well, how? Just because they didn't have crops and they didn't have wheat, they didn't have wine, and they didn't have the good, strong livestock, how could that affect their worship? They didn't have a good offering to offer to God when they went. They didn't have the meat and the meal. They didn't have the meat offering to be able to give to God. These things were affecting the nation of Israel. What surprises me when you read the book of Joel, when you read the first chapter, you find it really wasn't affecting the people at all. They didn't have wine to drink. They didn't have meat to eat. They didn't have anything to offer to God. But in verse number 5 verse number 2 chapter number 1, Joel says, Hear me. Now what was he saying? He was saying, Open up your ears and listen to what I'm saying. Verse number 5, he said, Wake up. In other words, they were just sitting idle. And in this time that these locusts were eating at their vine, he said, Wake up. Verse number 8, he said, How you need to lament. Verse number 9 said, How you need to mourn. What he was saying, hey, it's time to get serious. It's time to get some urgency back. He said, look around at what's going on. He changes his thought from the immediate to the imminent. He said there's getting ready to be a great day of the Lord. What he was talking about, he says in verse number 20 of the chapter, he said, but I will remove far off from you the northern army. He was saying there's getting ready to be an army from the north that's going to come in to Israel. They're going to invade. They're going to take over. They're going to destroy you. He said, you need to be aware of what's getting ready to go on. And we study the Bible, we understand that the Lord was talking about the Assyrians that were going to come in Hezekiah's day. You remember when Hezekiah had got the letter from the king of Syria, and that letter said this. I said, don't let your God fool you. Don't let your God deceive you. Every country we went in, they said their God is going to help them, but they haven't. And we've taken over. And he said, we're getting ready to come down into Israel, and your God is not going to help you either. God knew this. God warned them. God was saying, there's an imminent threat to you as a nation. That's what he was saying in Joel chapter number 2. He was laying the foundation for what was getting ready to come. Hey, and we know in Hezekiah's day that happened. Thank God that's when Hezekiah laid the letter of Sennacherib before God and said, God, I don't know what to do about this letter other than bring it to you. And we know what happened. God intervened, but here in the text, Joel, the man of God, is telling Israel what they're supposed to do. In verse number 15, he said, blow the trumpet in Zion. Back in these days, what they would do if there was a threat of war, they would blow that trumpet, and everybody would take heed to that trumpet. Now they blew it for many different reasons, but that's irrelevant to what we're talking about tonight. But he said, blow the trumpet, but let them know that there's a war about to take place. And in verse number 16, he said, gather the people and sanctify the congregation. Now, at this time in Israel's history, in their life, when they would gather together, their gathering place was the temple of God. They would gather there at the temple. And if you study the Bible, I researched a lot this week about the temple. I've taught about the tabernacle. I know the tabernacle pretty well, inside and out, but I don't know the temple that well. But as I studied, I began to research this temple. They had a lot of things in common with the tabernacle. There was the outer court, there was the inner court, there was the sanctuary, where the altar of incense was, where the candlestick and those things, and then there was the holiest of holies. But one thing I found in my studies of the temple was there was a porch. When Solomon and God gave Solomon the outline for this temple, he said, I want you to put a porch in this temple. And I found what the reason for that porch was. This porch was an observation deck. And if I could say it that way, this porch was a place where when Israel would gather, they would gather there at the porch. And do we understand tonight when God built the tabernacle, or God built the temple of God, there were certain places that common people could not go. Only the priests of God could go. So what Solomon did was he built this porch, and he said, man, you bring your offering to the priest, you can't go in anymore like you could in the tabernacle. But he said, when you bring your offering to the priest, he's going to take it to the altar, and he's going to kill that offering. He said, I'm going to build you a place that you can stand and you can look in to where the altar is, and you can look and see what the priests of God, what they're doing. And when the folks would gather at the temple, that's where they would gather. They would gather there at the porch. Hey, I want to look at verse 17 where that we read. Notice what Joel see the porch and the altar there has great significance to this. And I like to preach it, as I said, with the house full of people. But this isn't a Sunday morning message. If it was, God would let me preach it Sunday morning. But this is for everybody that is here tonight. I'm preaching about between the porch and the altar. We're living in days that are very similar to that of Joel's. How do we understand that? How we're living in a time of immediate threat, of immediate judgment. Look around. How there's plagues, there's famine, how there's things destroying this world today. How we understand that. How we know that. But we also have the imminent day of the Lord. That's the day of judgment. How that is fastly approaching. And can I just say, this is the way that I believe. I believe there's not one thing that's left to happen before Jesus steps out on that cloud. And when he does, he's calling all of us that have the blood of God to our life. He's taking us up to heaven. Those that don't have the blood of life, they're not going where I'm going. Judgment will have set up on this world, and it'll be too late. We have an immediate threat, and we have an imminent threat that can happen any possible day of the week. As I begin to study this text, I begin to pray. God said, Jason, you've spent an awful lot of your time standing up on the porch on the observation deck. I'm looking in. I'm looking at what's going on. I'm looking at the offering. I'm looking at the altar. I'm looking at the sacrifice. I'm looking at other folks. I'm working there between the porch and the altar. I've seen a lot of other folks down there. I'm working as I begin to study this place between the porch and between the altar. I found that this place was a place of great prayer. This was a place of prayer for the people of God. This was a place of intercession. A place where you could come and have, I'm talking real prayer. We've got to mention it at the beginning of service about times we pray and we don't feel much. But then there's times we pray that we feel ahead and again. To shake, I'm saying, tonight this place between the porch and between the altar is a place we can shake the earth, we can shake the heavens, we can shake lives, we can shake marriages, we can shake homes, we can shake communities. What it's going to take you and I get to this spot in between the porch and in between the altar. This spot between the porch and in between the altar, it's a place where you and I can go and we can communicate to God for the people. Do we understand? Do we know that as priests? That's the job of the priest, was to communicate to God on behalf of the people. But at that same place, it's also a place where we communicate to the people on God's behalf. We stand there in the middle, we intercede, we get the message from God, and we deliver it to the people, and the people give us the message, and we deliver it to God. That's what we talked about in the beginning of service. We said that we need this to be a time of true intercession. If we're honest, if we'll all open up our lives, open up our homes, be honest one with another, we'll find every one of us need somebody to intercede on our behalf. Listen what I'm about to say. I'm not bragging on myself. I just want you to know how where my heart is. I was studying the back today, and God really began to deal with my heart about this message. And I come out and I got the little basket. I took it back to the bathroom, and I finally said, well, I know what I can do with this basket. And I brought it back, and I set it there on the altar. And he said, Jason, there is one thing you can do. You can pray, and you can intercede. There's no way Van's concerned, I need to intercede on their behalf. I need to get between the porch. I need to stop. I'm sitting on the porch. I'm looking at other folks having a prayer life with God. And I need to get with God and say, Lord, let me intercede on somebody's behalf. Between the altar and the porch. And that's where we need to be. As you go back there to the office and you look on that shelf, I've got endless books on prayer. Reading stories about men's prayer lives. I read, I don't know if everybody knows who Leonard Ravenhill is, but he was an English evangelist that, he preached some good messages. You can listen to him online, but I was reading something he said this week, and he said, a preacher that doesn't pray 2 hours a day, I wouldn't give a nickel to hear preach. When I read that, man, it just struck my heart about my prayer life. I read about people really interceding. I read about people setting the alarm clock early to get out of bed early. I know it's uncomfortable. I know I'd rather sleep. I know there's other things I'd rather do. I've read about people getting out of bed early, getting in their secret place and calling out on God. And I've also heard what God does in the lives of folks like that. Brother Eddie, I want to have a prayer life that God is pleased with. But before I can do that, I'm going to have to get off the porch, and I'm going to have to get down in between the porch and the altar. And I'm telling the church tonight, I'm coming off the porch, and I'm getting in that spot, and I'm asking you to go with me. I know some of you are already there. Some of you have better prayer lives than I do. But for those of us that struggle, those of us that know the power of prayer, that know the promise of prayer, but yet we don't take advantage of it like we should. I'm asking you to join me tonight, getting off the porch and getting between the altar of God and getting in between that and the porch. You say, Jason, why should I? I'm going to tell you why I am tonight. Number one, I'm getting off the porch because I'm qualified to get off the porch. I already said there were places in the Old Testament not everybody could go unless you were a priest. The porch was as far as you could go. You could look in, you could get a glimpse, maybe you could hear the sound of the sacrifice, maybe you could smell a little bit of it, but that's as close as you could possibly get. But thank God, the Bible said in Revelation, chapter number 1, verse number 4, and verse number 5, he said unto him that loved us and washed us with the blood of his own blood, washed our sin with his own blood, and hath made us kings and priests. And that's why I'm getting off the porch tonight, because I'm qualified to get off. True. When he saved me, when he made me a priest, he gave me the ability now. I can go in. I can get close. I can get there. That's why tonight I'm saying, I'm going in. And the priests I touched on it Sunday morning, the priests before they were consecrated to be able to go in and do the job, they had to be anointed. And we know, I preached Sunday morning about the blood that had to be put on the right ear, and the blood that had to be put on the thumb of the right head, and the blood that had to be put on their big toe. But you know what else had to be done to them before they could go in? The Bible said they had to go get the old horn oil, and they had to bring that oil out, and they had to anoint that priest with the oil, and not just the priest, but every article of clothing that he had, they had to sprinkle, anointed with that oil. You're looking at a man tonight, I've been anointed by the blood of Jesus Christ, I've been anointed by the Holy Ghost, oil of the Savior tonight. I would trade the anointing of God for anything. Because I've done it, I can go in. I'm qualified. I'm qualified. Listen, I've hung my head too long. I said I'm not worthy too long. I've argued with people about my failures too long. You know why I'm going forward? You know why I'm going on? Because God qualified me. you're saved tonight, God's qualified you. If you're saved by God's grace, God's qualified you. Listen to me, young people that are saved by the grace of God. You have just as much right as I do to enter into the throne room of God with boldness. How many need help? How many need to find help? And in the time you're qualified to go in. That's why I'm getting off the porch. I'm qualified. I'm getting off the porch because I want to get a better view. I want to get a better view. Just standing afar, standing on that porch. No doubt you could see the sacrifice. You could see it. I don't know exactly how far it was. It's probably about 50 or 100 foot away. You could see the sacrifice, but you couldn't see it real well. You couldn't see the details. You know, the further you get away from something, I'm only 40 years old, but I do know that I'm starting to lose some of my vision. The further I get away from something, the harder it is for me to see. Right? When I'm up on the porch looking at the sacrifice, I can see it. I know it's there. I'm thankful it's there, but it doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Right? But the closer that I get to that sacrifice, the better view I've got. Right? You know what our sacrifice is? Our sacrifice is the precious Lamb of God. That's what our sacrifice is. But just I spent too much time standing afar off, seeing it from a distance, seeing other people. I get close to it. I see other people. I get a glimpse of it. I'm getting off the porch because I want to get a better view. I love to say, is there anybody here tonight that don't need to see Jesus just a little bit closer than you did when you come in? Every single one of us, I need to see him a little bit better. I mean, I want to see every detail of the sacrifice. Tonight, I want to know everything about the sacrifice. I want to know his character. I want to know all the things that I can't to know about Jesus, and I can't do it from I can't do it from a distance. I got to get close to him. I like what James said. I believe it's James 4:8. He said, "Draw nigh unto God." Draw nigh unto God. He'll stay where he's at and wait for you to get there. Is that what it said? He said, "Draw nigh unto God, and He will draw nigh." Right? I'm up on the porch. I got a good view of the sacrifice. I mean, I can see him. I want to get right down where he is. You know, there's Christians. I'm not talking about different levels of being saved, but you know, we're all at different growth spots in our life. The Bible said there's such thing as a 30-fold, a 60-fold, and a 100-fold Christian. We know that, right? Do you remember the three? Maybe I've shared this before. The three, Peter, James, and John, the three disciples, got to go three places. The other 9 didn't get to go. One of those places was the Mount of Transfiguration. The three got to go up with them. The other 9 were down at the bottom of the hill in the city. The Bible says up on top of the hill that Jesus showed them his glory. And when he did, that light was brighter than the sun. Right? You know what the Bible said? Go fact check me. Matthew chapter number 17. Mark chapter number 9. First few verses of Mark chapter number 9. He said that light was as bright as the sun. And that tells me those 9 that were down at the bottom, even though they were close, they got a glimpse of that light. Right? They got a glimpse of it being down at the bottom. No doubt they had to shake their eyes and say, "Man, something's going on. I'm way up top of that mountain. How did I see Peter, James, and John coming down after being right there and witnessing the transformation of the Savior, witnessing the conversation between God the Father and the Son, and Moses, and Elijah, the law, and the prophet." Maybe when that 3 come down, the 9 said, "Hey, did you guys see? Something was going on top of that mountain. It was such a bright light. We got to someday down here at the bottom, just from the light. Can you see Peter, James, and John? Can you see their reaction? Hey, I know you saw something down here, but if you'd have been up close, you'd have seen something a lot better. Listen to me tonight. I'm tired. I'm just getting the runoff lessons. I want to be right there. I want to be up close. How do we do it? We got to get off the porch. Get off the porch and get that better view. I'm getting off the porch tonight because I'm qualified. I want a better view, and I know what's at stake. Tonight I know what's at stake. That's why I'm getting off the porch. We all know what's at stake tonight. There's young people sitting in this building tonight, they're lost without God. Maybe middle age, maybe older, I don't know. I don't know anybody's heart. There's kids in this building, I called their name out today. Kids in this building, 2, 3, 4 years old, under the protection of God.
Yeah.
But God reminded me today, Brother Van, time is quick. Time, it ain't going to be too long.
Yeah,
Some of these kids start growing up tired.
Amen.
She's one of them. Adam. She's one of them. Lucy. She's one of them. Some of these other, Jason back there. He's one. I mean, they're coming to that spot. I know what's at stake.
Yeah.
Should I wait till God deals with their heart and then start interceding for them? Or should I get off the porch
Right.
and come down and say, God, would you be merciful to them? I know they're not ready yet. I don't know when they'll be ready, but you know. Would you intercede on their behalf? Lord, maybe the first time you ever deal with their heart, they'll step out. Is that possible?
Amen.
Absolutely, it's possible. Absolutely, it's possible. I know what's at stake, Daniel. I know I look back at my children. My children need me to get off the porch. My children need me to get off the porch. My wife needs me to get off the porch. I need her to get off the porch and get there. I need to intercede on my behalf. This church needs me. You need this. This church, I need you. We need to intercede for one another. Do we remember what's at stake? I asked you a few minutes ago. All of us in here probably threw prayer requests in there. You remember when you threw it in? You remember the burden that you had? Do you remember the urgency that you had? Do you still have that same burden? Do you still have that same urgency? If not, we need to get off the porch tonight and realize what's at stake. Realize this world needs us. This world needs us to intercede on their behalf. I've said this a lot lately, and I want to say it one more time. I know we use a lot of excuses in our generation, in our day. We say this world's too wicked. We'll never make an impact. We'll never do any good. And we can sit here and make excuses. Say there's only 30 of us here tonight. What can we do? But read the book of Acts. If you've never read the book of Acts from the 1st chapter to the 28th chapter, you need to go home tonight, sit down and read it till you're done. And tell me that God can't use just a handful of people to do mighty, powerful things. How does he do it? We got to get off the porch. We got to get down to the altar. I'll close with this. Ben said I had 2 hours to preach tonight. And I would if I could, but I can't. I don't have it in me. But I'll close with this. I'm getting off the porch because I'm qualified. God's made me. He's made me a priest. He's given me that right to get in. Give me a better view. I know what's at stake. We understand there's people here tonight that can't get off the porch. They can't get off the porch because they're not saved. They can't. That's where they're at. I know what's at stake. I also know the results of getting off the porch. You still got your Bible open in Joel chapter number 2?
Yep.
Verse 17, where he said, let the priests and ministers, Lord, weep between the porch and the altar. And he told them what to say. Spare thy people. Give not thine heritage to reproach, that the heathen should rule over them. And this is what he said, if you don't, this is what our enemies are going to say. Wherefore should they say among the people, where is their God? Isn't that exactly what happened in the book of Kings? Hezekiah, when Sennacherib had come against him, Sennacherib said, look, none of these other gods have helped. Your God's not going to help either. You know what that letter said? Hezekiah took that letter. He spread it out on the altar. Isaiah brought him the letter. Hezekiah took it, opened it up, and spread it out for the Lord. And began to pray on that letter. Said, God, I need you to move. While Isaiah was walking back to his house, God spoke to his heart. He said, you go back and tell Hezekiah. Said, I heard your prayer. He didn't tell him what the answer was going to be. He said, you just go tell Hezekiah that I heard your prayer. Listen, tonight, I've been praying some things that God's just not giving me the answer for. Brother Eddie, if I pray and I know he heard, that's enough. That's enough. And sometimes that's what we're going to have to just live with for a while until God's ready to give us an answer. God, have you heard? If you know God's heard your prayer, you can rest assured. That's what Hezekiah did. Hezekiah went and laid down and went to bed. And that night, while Israel's soldiers were fast asleep, God sent an angel down to the camp of the Syrians.
Yeah.
Wiped them out. Took care of it. This is what he said. This is the prediction. This is what he said he was going to do. Verse number 17, he said, let the priest weep between the porch and the altar. He said, then will the Lord be jealous for his land and pity his people. And the Lord will answer and say unto his people, behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith. When we get between the porch and the altar, God will answer.
Yeah, sure will.
Not only will God answer, but verse 19 said, he'll satisfy us. He'll satisfy us. Verse number 20 said, I will remove far off from you the normal army. He said, we weep between the porch and the altar. He'll answer us, he'll satisfy us, and he'll protect us. Verse 21, fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. When we get between the porch and the altar, the Bible says the Lord will do great things. Verse 25, and I will restore you the years that the locusts have eaten. Verse 26, praise the name of the Lord your God that hath dealt wondrously with you. When we get between the porch and the altar, God will answer, he'll satisfy, he'll protect, he'll do great things, he'll restore, and he'll deal wondrously with us. Amen. I don't know where this message finds anybody, but I know where it found me. It found me wanting, being weighed in the balance, and found wanting. I don't know how many Sunday school lessons I've taught over the years about prayer and the power of prayer, the purpose of prayer, the method of prayer, how we're supposed to pray. All those, I've taught all those things, brother. I know those things in my heart, but they haven't translated over into that real strong, powerful prayer life with God. And when I read this week, God has really convicted my heart. Joel had to tell these people, he said, listen, open your ears.
Yeah.
God had to tell me that.
Amen.
He said, oh, wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up. God had to tell me that this week. He said, lament. He said, mourn. Get serious about what's going on. God had to get me there. He wants us all to get between the porch and the altar. And I'm telling you tonight that I'm coming off the porch. I want to have a true, changed prayer life. I'm not talking about just for a week and then it's going to die down. I'm talking about God dealing with my heart, convicting my heart, changing my life, changing my heart, and giving me that heart, knowing and understanding. And I told God this today. I said, God, I've seen you answer prayers. I know you can.
Yeah.
You know what will really set a prayer life on fire, Brother Dylan? You know what will really set a prayer life on fire? Is when we have a need. And we get down and we pray.
Yeah.
And we reach heaven. And we know God heard it.
Yeah.
And it ain't too long until God answers. When God answers that prayer, that juices us up. That charges us up. You know what that makes me want to do? Bring another petition.
Oh, yeah.
Bring something else to it. Has God ever answered a prayer for this church?
Absolutely.
Has God ever answered a prayer for anybody in this church? Do you think of situations in your life when there seemed like there was absolutely no possible good outcome, and somehow, some way, right before everything just blew up, God swept in and answered a prayer?
Yeah.
We all have an experience like that. I believe we do. Every single one of us have an experience like that. I want to just remind you that God has not changed. God is still the same God that did it then is still capable to do it now. And I'm going to pray, and I hope you pray too. If you're in between the porch and the altar, I'd ask you to pray for me. Pray for this church, that God will continue to grow us. But if you're not, if you're like me, and you spend too much time on the porch watching other people, you spend too much time on the porch reading about other people's prayer lives, watching movies. What's that movie that came out a couple years ago about the prayer closet, the war room? I've heard people testify about that movie. I've never seen it, but I don't want to just watch a movie about having a war room. I want to have a changed prayer life. I want to get off the porch tonight. No song, no altar call. If you need to pray tonight, the altar's open. But I'm going to pray, and I'm going to ask God to help me to strengthen my prayer life, to strengthen my burden, to strengthen my desire to get along with Him.
Father God, we're thankful God for this rich word. God, I thank you for this word. God, tonight I thank you for the church. Lord, I pray that people will come and get saved up on it. Lord, we just want to be a light to them in this simple world. God, we want to see them come get saved before it's too late. Lord, knowing our Father, we know how we promise some more. Lord, you know all things. You said you know our doubts and our closets, our faults. Day to day, and I'm glad for that. Lord, you said you know the number of our hearts in our head. Lord, I thank you for the wisdom of Father that you have for us. Lord, how you love us, Lord, you gave your Son on the cross. Lord, I believe we have life and have it more abundant. Thank you, God, for the preached word. God, here stand on the word of our hearts. God, always show love wherever we go. Give you all the praise. Give you all the praise.
Our Lord,
God,
great God, great mercy, leadership, and help. God, you have been bridges down between a people, Lord, no one can take us close to another. God, get on board. God, never prayed before, Lord, we're on the last lap, the last lane. 11 cars, the doors closed. Help us, God, to be ever about your business. Look, it takes good day.
Appreciate the opportunity to pray tonight. Somebody have anything on your heart?
Appreciate that message, Jason. I'd be the first to admit that I let my prayer life go. I'll get it going for a while and then slip back. But we're at the end of the game. It's no, you can't take 2 steps forward. We need to really get on the fire line. I love that book.